What's your thoughts on the game? Performance and score?
Not the best.
Not the best,
We could do better. Could have been better.
What was it a case of, because obviously we've not had the best start, is it a case of we just needed a result, it didn't really matter about the performance, or how did you see that?
We need this result as confidence.
They should have done better.
100%.
Should have done better, yeah?
Had to get the 3 points, that was the main thing.
Confidence boost.
Yeah? Who was your man of the match from that?
Trippier, always.
Trippier?
Trippier does hard work.
He does do a lot of hard
Probably
work.
agree with that, like.
Yeah?
Alright, all around, like.
We've got Milan. Yeah. Toughest game, obviously, biggest game that we've had at Newcastle for a while. How do you see that going?
Easy. Easy.
What do you reckon score-wise?
Maybe it's not so easy.
It's going to be a challenge, like. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely going to be a challenge.
What are you predicting? Obviously, Tonali's going back to his former club a little bit.
I reckon he'll score.
Right, he'll score,
Yeah, I reckon he'll score.
I'm going to get 2-0, like.
2-0?
2-0 to 2.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Why not?
I reckon it's a draw, like.
How do you see the Champions League ending up in terms of PSG? Who's going to win it second?
I reckon we'll be second. Milan first. Honest.
Third and fourth? How do you see that?
Third and fourth. Dortmund and PSG.
Yeah. And how far do you reckon we're going in Champions League?
Other way around.
Well, with the Carabao Cup, we went pretty far, mind. The Newcastle do have potential, though.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of potential, but
Depends on the day, doesn't it?
depends on the day.
We're lacking at the minute.
Yeah,
There's
well,
something.
one of the things that we've been asking everyone is we've had a bad start of the season by our standards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've had the toughest fixtures out of everyone in the league. Is that what it's down to, or is it down to something else, or how do you see it?
I think we've lost our spark.
We're not pressing anymore.
Aye.
Okay,
I've
what do you
noticed.
put that down to as well? Because obviously we've had a transfer window in between.
It comes down to the manager, really, if you ask me.
Aye.
The way he sets his team up. If we're not pressing anymore, it's down to the manager.
Yeah. So you want to see more pressing from Newcastle?
Yeah. 100%.
We've got an easier run of games. Do you reckon that's going to be where it all turns around a little bit?
Hopefully, but I think on the pitch, there's all the other team players, but our players are everywhere else except from being in the middle where the ball needs to go. You know,
When the ball goes in the box, it's from there.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So we've signed some players in the summer. We haven't seen much of them yet in terms of the fullbacks especially. How do you see their game time coming this season, Hall and Livramento?
I don't think they'll play.
Much?
Very
I honestly
scarce.
think.
Come with big transfer fees.
I don't think they'll play very much.
No?
No. I'm with Carl.
Like,
Like,
it's like in the back of it all. They're going to be training with the first team and picking up minutes like that. You know, I don't think they'll play much.
And in terms of man of the match as well, we've already said Trippier as well. Is he going to be a key player for Newcastle? Or we've seen a lot of rotation, so we've seen Anderson starting this week. He played fantastic
I thought that
pre-season.
would have been deadly this game.
Yeah.
But
How would you rate his performance and Barnes as well? Because they don't normally start forward.
honestly,
Sevens for me, like.
Sevens, yeah.
Maybe
solid.
he's Anderson 6.
I thought they would have killed it on the wing, both sides of the wing.
With a 6, does that mean you're slightly disappointed by it? Because obviously he's trying to break into a very tough midfield to break into.
I think he set his standards in the pre-season, so you expect a bit more from him.
Yeah.
But now he didn't do very well at it.
Do you put that down to him? Because a lot of players, they kind of need runs of games and stuff. You see him kind of dotted in here and there.
Taking all in his head. But
Does he need a run of games, you reckon?
will
Will he get one is probably a better question. Come off the bench, yeah?
100%. Anderson.
Aye,
Anderson,
100% aye.
And how...
He's another one with potential, but he doesn't always use it. You know what I mean? He has got a lot of potential.
And how would you start the...
How would I start the Milan game?
Obviously we've rested Isaac and a couple of others. What sort of formation would you do?
Nah, I wouldn't put Isaac on.
Yeah, is he done enough for you?
Wilson,
It's all
100%.
about that. It gives it. He's got that, when a kid, rebellious.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
always
yeah.
wants to win.
Yeah.
He always wants to be the best. Wilson.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to start.
I said today Wilson would score first and he got his first.
He did again.
Isaac on the wing.
Same as last season.
Right.
He's got pace, he's got passing, he's got heading, he's got everything. Start him on the left and Wilson on the front.
These plus players, like, they're not even there. So get him on the wing, Wilson in the middle, go from there.
What about the central midfield? Because obviously...
Stuff in there.
Longstaff,
Keep long stuff in there.
Has he been a big miss? Because obviously...
I
Take
think-
Bruno out.
No,
put Tonali in.
Wait, see, I think the opposite. I think Tonali
don't think Bruno's
for Bruno.
Bruno, by his standards, has had a bad start.
Right, like you can't play both of them. You've got to have one or the
Bruno
other.
out, Tonali in.
Alright.
They're both good players, But I think when them two are on the pitch, they're not a good match. Like Bruno was on today by himself. No, they don't.
Will that come, do you reckon, though? Because obviously Tonali's just new with everyone.
Obviously
Right, he
something,
needs-
hasn't he?
Yeah.
So they've got to come together.
That's saying that one Callum Wilson joined. He nearly scored every match.
And then last question here as well. So I want to know at the start of the season where you thought Newcastle would finish, and now we're a few games in, where you think Newcastle will finish.
Honestly, I think 6th, 7th.
You thought 6 or 7, then where do you think
Like
now?
this season, I think 6th and 7th. Last season,
I don't know yet, like,
I
it
was
can all
thinking
change in a
fucking-
couple of games, like, it can all change.
100% honest with you, I thought maybe it's 10th, 11th this season, just due to the other pressure from the Champions League and stuff like that, more games, cup games that we're probably going to keep winning now. I think it's going to be a tougher season.
Where do you reckon now then?
I still think the same.
Still the same, yeah?
Mid-table.
Mid-table?
Same as last year, but when they get the game going, though, the mint.
1-0 result there. How would you analyse that game?
Well, we're a bit nervy, I think, very nervy, you know, the first 30 minutes. But I thought, you know, in the end, the crowd seemed to get on it to us a bit, but then the last, 10, 15 minutes, first half, seemed to get on top. But then still we weren't making many chances. But second half, totally dominated them. I thought it was a fair result in the end. Should have had another penalty, I thought.
That was what I was going to ask you. A lot of contentious decisions. How did you see them going?
Penalty, should have been a penalty, like, put his arms up in the air, and he's headed it onto his arm.
What do you think of that rule? Because obviously it's you never really know with referees. It hit his head onto his hand. What do you class that as? Is that a pen or what?
Well, yeah, I think it needs to be clarified, don't you think? You know, as soon as you see the ref going to the screen, you're thinking, you're flat. You're flat. And you knew it was going to get disallowed. It was went to be flat, but yeah, I thought it was another penalty, definitely.
We've had a bad start of the season by our standards, but we've played the toughest sort of running that we've had. What do you put the bad start of the season down to? Is it just fixtures or what?
Well, I think so. You know, maybe obviously he's changing. Tonali's come in and he's changing a bit. I think it's last season. If you look at the first 5 games, we've got the same points as last season, and we've played a lot better teams this season. So I think we'll be all right. We're going to be there.
Yeah. And Anderson and Barnes, they got their first starts kind of thing. They're not regulars. What did you think of their individual performances as well?
I thought Barnes played mint, to be fair.
Yeah.
Played class today.
Did he play well enough to get involved in the next lineup, do you reckon? Big competition for them places now.
Yeah, it is. Either wingers competition there, really. Got Almiron wanting to get in.
Yeah.
Gordon's obviously wanting to start, and so.
What did you think of Anderson as well? So he had amazing form in pre-season and then didn't get a sniff in. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, he did all right. The lad, young kids, you know what I mean? He's playing. It's a big game. These Premier League games now, aren't they? And I thought he stood up and he did his own. I thought Barnes, as the game went on, Barnes come into it more and more. I thought he had a great game second half. Yeah. Well, that's what we want. We need this competition, don't we, for the places now?
Yeah. Well,
you don't want them all just coming in and getting the place. We need that competition, definitely.
Well, we've definitely got that all around the pitch.
Yes,
but speaking of big games, we've got one of the biggest in recent history in terms of Newcastle. It's the first time Champions League is going to be hosted at St James's Park. What's your honest expectations of that game as well, Milan?
Well, away, you know, I can't really, but I think when they get to St James's on a night match here, the atmosphere will be class, and I think we'll frighten a few. We will, I think we'll frighten a few. You don't expect to get, you know what I mean? We don't expect to win it, but I think we'll give them a good game.
Do you think we'll get through as well? Because obviously we're getting the group of death, one of the hardest ones out there. What do you reckon?
Got to play our best and find out, really.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. It is what it is.
Yeah, good chance. I think we've got a great chance. Get them at home. If we can get a few results away, get them at home, and we'll be okay, I think.
Tonali might be playing against his former team. What's your thoughts? If he does get a start, what do you reckon?
Well, I think he'll go. Hopefully he shows a bit of grit early doors, gets stuck in, shows him, and that day. Don't know, do we? Great game for him, isn't it? Yeah. Great game for him.
And now for Newcastle as well, we've played the hardest teams now. Now we've got a bit of an easier fixture swing. Do you reckon results will start turning around and stuff? We'll start picking loads of points up or what?
Yeah, I think so. Just hope the crowd stick with us, you know. Because you expect, like the Brentford, Sheffield United, you expect it to beat them. But as soon as it goes a bit quiet, they've got a little... the away team feels they have a chance. But yeah, I think we'll beat them, I think.
Yeah.
I fancied us today and we did, we won.
Well, opposition-wise as well, we spoke to some of the Brentford fans before. Where do you think that Brentford will finish at the end of the season? What sort of calibre do you think they're at?
I think they're a good team, a good mid-table team. Them two lads up front today were class, I thought. The movement and the running for them were really good. And that was without Tony as well, man. The goal scorer. No, I thought, you know what I mean, they had a few little chances. But in the end, I think our defence, we sussed them out and we played well against them. But they were two good players, them lads. Two good players.
We asked some of the Brentford fans as well before the game. Obviously, England, they've got Harry Kane, number 1. He's unmovable from that position. Where's number 2 and 3? Because you've got Callum Wilson, one of ours, and then you've got Tony, who's one of theirs. Where do you see the strikers ranking?
Well, Callum Wilson, he comes on, he scores goals, doesn't he? Tony's the same, It's a tough one. It is a tough one for them. But keep Callum. Obviously, Callum's not a starter really now, is he? We've got Isaac. But yeah, Callum should be playing in. He should be getting in the England squad, for definite, I think. Yeah.
Well, he couldn't have done much more than he has today.
No, another goal. Another goal, yeah. And I dare say we've got another penalty to score, another one. Yeah. So you can't fault the lad, he puts the ball in the back of the net, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then where do you think Newcastle are going to finish at the end of the season now as well?
Well, I'll be over the moon with top 4 again. Yeah. But I'll also be happy, people didn't expect us last season. Top 6 as well. This is me son, get him in.
That's right. Where do you reckon Newcastle finish?
I'd go top 6. I'd be happy with top 6 this season. Yeah.
And then Champions League as well, how far you reckon?
I think if we do get out of the group, it'll be a really good achievement. And even if we can get a win, I'd be happy. It's all about improvement.
Yeah. The game I thought we could have went to. Without the penalty, I don't think we'd have scored in a million years, mate. But it happened that way, so we got the penalty. I thought we should have had the second penalty. It was right where I was sitting. I thought that was definitely a penalty. Be nice. Sorry, mate. Now what? I thought it'd be nice for a referee to have some balls to stick to his own decision before going to the camera. That's all.
You always think when they go to the camera, they're
going to change it. So have some balls, right, and just stick to your own decision. But it never happens, does it?
What was this? Obviously, we've not had the greatest start. Was this a case of we just needed the result and the performance didn't matter so much?
After the Villa game, I thought the confidence was sky high, and then after Man City game, I said to everyone today, I said, all we need is a 1-0 scrappy win and then a kick-start of season. So
exactly what we've got.
Hopefully that's what happens, mate.
Performance-wise, how would you rate the performance?
I'd rate it minimum, but there's no creativity, but I think that's based out of confidence again. I think that's what we need.
We've seen an unusual lineup. Anderson started, we got Barnes started.
I think Anderson should have started the first game of the season after his pre-season, to be fair.
He had it, yeah.
It was unlucky that he didn't start, but...
What did you think of their performances in particular?
Newcastle's?
The Anderson and Barnes.
I thought they'd done a job. But every time Barnes got the ball, he looked threatening. Like Maxi on the left, looked like they make things happen. Yep. But I don't think, same as Maxi, we need a left back who's going to take the attention away from him.
Well, we've got a couple in the window. Neither one of them have had a sniff
why
yet.
you spend 70 million on 2 defenders, but Eddie Howe likes to break players in, doesn't he? So
we've got Milan. How are you feeling? It's the first Champions League match in a hell of a long time.
Confident?
Confident, yeah.
Aye. I think he'd bring Isaac in. I think Tonali will come back in.
Did he rest them for that, do you think?
No, I think... I rest Isaac. I think change the formation because you need to.
Yeah. How would you line them up against Milan through the week?
I'd change formation. I'd go 4-2-3-1, mate. I'd put Bruno and Tonali in the back, like in the centre mid, but he'll never change to his formation. That's Eddie. That's why we are where we are. I'm not a manager, am I?
100%. We had a bad start of the season by our standard, sort of thing. Was that just because of the? I was going to say, is that?
Brighton's just done to Man U, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I says if we get a 1-0 scrappy win today, that'll kick our start of the season. So hopefully I'm right.
Lovely. Right. Okay. So we're here with
Ellis Kelly.
Nick.
How would you analyse that game?
First half was tough, long first half. Thought we were lacking in a few areas, but obviously what's coming ahead on Tuesday, he's resting players. There was enough to beat them today. Some decisions, I thought the referee was slow on his whistle for majority of the game. Quick enough for that second penalty. I'll be interested to see what that was like. But no, vital win that for confidence. Massive win.
And what did you think as well?
I can't say it now. All I really think about the game, it was fucking good. It was mint.
Who's your man of the match as well?
Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson, yes, Gordon.
Gordon, for me, I thought he was up and down in the park. I thought he was fantastic. The day chasing everything down. Really good.
We've seen a new couple of players come in terms of Anderson and Barnes. They don't normally start. What did you think of their individual performances?
I forgot Anderson was starting.
You forgot Anderson started.
That's not a good sign.
I forgot other people were starting.
I thought Anderson had a canny game. I thought Barnes had a canny game. I think he'll grow into the team.
But the only people that I saw that were actually that stood out really. That when I looked at most, we just Callum Wilson and Gordon like.
Yeah, well, he got the winner. Great game.
And Fabian Schär too.
Fabian Schär, yeah.
Fabian Schär and
like,
Botman are fantastic.
Most of the players in like the middle and the side.
Yeah. He rested a few players. One eye on Milan. Is that obviously it's easy to say that now we've got the decision. Was that the right decision, kind of to focus a little bit on the Premier League?
You've answered the question. In hindsight, it's always easy when you've got 3 points. At the beginning of the first half, looking at it, we were lacking, like I said. But the lads got the job done in the end. He had faith in them. He kept going. I thought 60th minute he would have started making more changes. He left it a bit later for Miggy on, but no. All in all, he knows what he's doing. He knows better than me.
Yeah, and we've had a bad start of the season by our standards. We've played obviously the toughest teams. What has it been down to, the bad start of the season, in your opinion?
People say we've had a bad start of the season. You know, Liverpool away at Man City. 1 out of Man City. It's, you know, nothing bad. Getting beat at home to Liverpool the way we did, yeah, not great, but getting beat to Liverpool, yeah, it happens. They've done the only team done the double last season on us. Brighton, in my head, Brighton is still the Brighton of years ago, but they are a good team.
Brighton on fire at the minute. Another good
Brighton
win today,
are another good win. 3-1. They are absolute quality. I thought when they saw McAllister, I thought they might be lacking, but fantastic. Caicedo, yeah, fantastic.
First Champions League game in a hell of a long time here at St James's Park. What's your thoughts on it? How excited, and what do you think the result will be?
The Milan game.
I think it's going to be 2-1.
2-1 to
Newcastle. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Markham in Milan? Have you ever seen a Markham in Milan? I'll not swear, son.
He'll do it for you.
You'll see Milan's over here though, so what do you reckon?
I've got a friend who's an AC fan. He's an Italian lad, lives over there. I sent him, it arrived yesterday. He's got his Tonali strip, number 8 on the back, black and white. I don't think he likes it particularly too much, but in his eyes, he says Newcastle are a better team than Milan.
Yeah, and now we've got a fixture swing as well. We've got a lot of easier teams. Is that a case of the bad start of the season over now and things can get some more points on the board?
You've got to play them at some point. It wasn't a great start. It's never great.
Worst out of all of the Premier League.
Worst out of all the Premier League. There's no way you can do. You've got to play them.
He's got no points.
So
all the games I've played, I've lost.
That's true.
But no, out of the way and we move on up now.
Yeah.
That's it. Move on up.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Champions League. I've got my PSG trip booked. Dortmund still up in the air, but no, can't wait.
You analyse that game and performance.
I think Newcastle played quite well actually. Controlled the game. Difficult first half, but then the second half they were a lot stronger. So quite happy with the result in the end.
Yeah, Anderson, he doesn't normally start for. What do you think of his performance?
Anderson, absolutely brilliant. So I think without Tonali and Joe Linton in the middle, you didn't really notice the difference. So with Anderson and Longstaff, just as strong in the middle, so quite happy.
Yeah, we've got the biggest game rather in St James's Park history for a long time. First Champions League game. How do you see that going as well, Milan?
Away to Milan, I think we're going to beat them. Yeah. So they've got to just go with the same attitude as last season and go straight into the game and attack the game.
Would you start Tonali, and what would you expect if you?
I would have started Tonali. I would give him the due respect of that's his old club, and we've signed him for big money. I would take him. Yeah, I would definitely start him.
We've had a bad start of the season by our standards, sort of thing. We've played
a bad start to the season.
Well, I think in context, we've played the toughest teams. Is it because we've played the toughest teams, or what would you put the results kind of down to? We've been unlucky with Liverpool and a few others.
Yeah, I think it's just the start of the season. So if you look at last season, how we started last season, it's pretty similar points-wise, and they'll just go into the season. So I don't think Eddie Howe's worried, and neither should the fans be.
No, well, we've got some easier games coming up now as well.
Hopefully.
Do you think that'll change?
When you look at the fixtures, I think the next 5-6 games are all winnable. So if we win the next 4 or 5, then we're looking quite strong.
Obviously, we've played a few games now. So what's your prediction for where Newcastle will finish at the end of the season, league position-wise?
At the beginning of the season, I was predicting to win the league, so that's how optimistic I was.
What's it now? You changed it all?
Probably, yeah. So I think top 4 would be great, realistic to hold on to it, but I think maybe go 6 sixth or fifth, we'll be quite happy with that. Yeah.
He's rested a lot of key players today. There might have been some niggles and stuff like that. Does it show you maybe that he's putting a little bit more importance on Champions League, or how do you see that?
I just think that he's got 22 players now, so he's got to use them all, and that's how the top teams do it. So I think, so it's how the top teams do it. So we've got to follow suit. And
100% fully agree with you. So we signed some players, left backs and right backs. We haven't seen them yet. What's your expectations for them this season?
Lewis Hall, I don't have any expectations. He's a young player. I think
do you expect him to get much game time throughout the season?
I think in the Carabao Cup and some Premier League games at Liverpool, I don't know about much about. I haven't actually seen him. So, but they're going for youth and signing the top young players, and it's the future of the club. So I think, I think it just, there's no pressure. You look at like Arsenal, they've spent 100 million on Declan Rice, who's
Havertz as well.
Yeah, who's established Premier League players. Newcastle are doing it differently. They're signing the young players in the hope that in the future they'll be
building for the future.
Yeah,
that's how you got to do it.
And that's all. So I think it's very positive. Even at the beginning of the season, I know we're getting beat three games, but I think it's still very positive for Newcastle.
And then how far do you reckon we're going in the Champions League? We've obviously got the group of death. What do you reckon?
Sometimes it works in your favour. So I think they can at least qualify from it, and if they don't, then finish third and qualify for the Europa League, and then go and push on in the Europa League. But you never know. Tottenham got all the way to the final. Who's to say that another English team can't get all the way to the final? Who's not the strongest? It's a cup competition after all.
PSG are favourites. Do you see them as being the outright winners, or how do you see it winning the group?
I don't think PSG are favourites for the group. Yeah, so I think. I don't know. I don't know nothing about PSG. I haven't studied PSG, so I definitely think Newcastle can.
Is it winnable, the PSG game, do you reckon? It's a very, very tough game.
It's home. We beat Barcelona at home.